Clunbury Church of England Primary School is a small rural primary school in South Shropshire, with only 3 full-time teachers. When head teacher Andrew Davies came to the school in 2004, he was keen to use technology to enhance the children's learning. He was eager that the children at the school should have the same and, where possible, more chances and opportunities available to them as they would in a larger, less remote school.
Over the past 3 years, we've made a lot of developments in ICT. We now have far more newer computers in the school, but the most significant change which has happened is the way children use the computers. Pupils now use the computers as a tool to enhance their learning. And this is where my vision comes from. It's a very simple principle. ICT is a tool to enhance pupils' learning. We want all pupils to have the ability to identify why they need to use a computer, when it's appropriate to use a computer, and importantly for them to develop an understanding of the importance ICT is playing in enhancing their own skills and learning.
With 60 children in the school and a further 17 in the attached nursery, it was key that any ICT provision had to accommodate both the limited space and address the learning requirements of the children. With only 3 full-time teaching staff, it was also important that they were fully on board.
When we very first started improving all the ICT across the school, myself and the Key Stage 1 teacher and Mr Davis, the head teacher, went to a BET conference to look at all the software and hardware available in the workforce and also commercially, so that we could just have our eyes open to see what was there. And it was a revelation.
The staff in the nursery are keen to build ICT into their planning and ensure that as every child enters the school, they get access to technologies and begin learning with them straight away.
I've introduced more programmes onto the computer, and also we use the camera quite a lot in nursery. We encourage the children to use it. When we go out on walks, we get the children to take photographs of what they've seen.
I mean, by the time they leave nursery and go into Key Stage 1, they're competent enough to complete a simple programme and use the mouse effectively. And the older children help the younger children when they come in.
One initiative in the school that's been introduced in order to engage the children and encourage them to learn in new, fun ways is the use of portable games units that they use to help them, amongst other things, with their math skills.
2 children actually brought them into school on one day. And the one thing which appealed to me straight away was the interactivity capability of these machines. We can link up to 15 machines at any one stage. We've explored it with maths and we've already reaped the benefits. The children's mental math skills seem to be getting much sharper. The children enjoy using them. And whenever we mention, should we get Nintendos out, it's yes, let's do mental maths, which is a great response to have.
I just really like the maths. It's really fun because every time we use them, people who are asking questions ask really hard ones, and it takes a long time to try and answer them.
And we get to do our maths lesson on them instead of doing some work sometimes. It helps us with our learning and helps us improve.
The school have clear policies regarding their pupils' safety online. The children all have folders on the network in which to store their own work, and through the use of blogging present their work to be marked, either by their teachers or their peers.
Being a small rural school, quite secluded as well, that's our access to the outside world. The children can go onto other blogs to see what people are writing. And there's a range of schools now which are actually using this sort of facility. And the one thing we particularly like about it is it's all free. It's all available over the internet. There's no cost involved, a little bit of time, but the children benefit greatly from it.
As well as blogging, the children create their own podcasts, recording stories which helps them develop their speaking and listening skills. Andrew produces the website and showcases some of the work on Radio Clunbury. Not only do the children benefit from having access to the blogging tools, their parents are able to see the children's work and are encouraged to comment too.
Initially, when my daughter came back and said about the school website, we had a look, and it was quite nice to be able to see what was going on at school. I can show grandparents work, that they would never see because they don't come to parents' evenings, so you can show off and they can show a bit, and on the podcasting they can record their poems, so it's not quite nice to listen to what they've been doing. And if you're really talented, you can download it to an MP3 player, but I'm definitely not at that level yet.
We're always looking at ways in which we can further enhance the learning in the school. So I think as far as ICT is concerned, is to ensure that what we're doing is working. We've now been doing it for 3 years, is to ensure that it's sustainable, that standards in the school keep on rising, and importantly, we keep our vision for ICT open. I think an ICT vision needs to be open. It needs to be looking outside the four walls towards the wider world, to looking at the new advances in technology, looking at what's out there in the wider market and not being scared to use it. We had a recent Ofsted inspection and the children were asked what their favourite subjects were. And they went maths, English, science, like a bit of music. I enjoyed the French lessons. And the Ofsted inspector said, what about ICT? No, ICT is a tool to help us with our learning.